Hello everyone, I am Malaceo. Welcome back to my channel. Now, all 8 of my subscribers, I know y'all want to be like, oh my god, where you been, blah blah blah. I've been busy, okay? When I say busy, I mean busy. So I am going to be doing all of my talking points, my vlogging, my packing all day today. And I will be scheduling out some things, and pretty much you will be able to see, like, what I'm doing, where I'm coming from. um Also, just other little knick-knack, overall information. But this is just going to be, hey you guys, my first monthly vlog, of January of this year. And it was a lot. There was only one thing that was like sort of negative, but I could sort of talk about that towards the, I'm just gonna get that out of the way because everything else is like so good and positive. So I'll just get that out of the way. And if I'm a little bit glossy, I just did like some skin prep and stuff like that. And as you can see, I did my hair. So I got like the little bob. I want to be a little classy. But yeah. So I did house sitting, and I don't think it's necessarily for me because I think that my stress levels are just so high that I taking care or just being in other people's houses and stuff like that. And like, I just, it was like a situation that happened. It wasn't necessarily, nothing, you know, with me per se, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's like for me. So the thing about manifestation, and once again, like I said, part of my New Year's resolution is to be open to my intuition and working on my intuition and trusting my intuition, because I betrayed her. And with that, it's like a working muscle. You have to keep on working and keep on using it to be more in tune with your intuition. So this was just to cover potential costs. It was like house sitting was like a plan B or C. But I'm like, well, girl, I got all the money now. Don't worry about that. I got all the money now. So with that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing I'm doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying I'm the richest person in the world, but I can live comfortably. I can eat. I can, work. If there's some little things that comes up, little hiccups here and there, is covered. And I still got my savings. I still, got my other things that I'm working on. So I'm not saying that I will be spending, like, my budget every month is $1,000 every month, and that's for everything. So I am also, making some money and stuff starting to come in from other, avenues and stuff like that. But overall, the $1,000 is definitely covered. And I always wanted to give a little bit of leadway and stuff, because especially with owning your own business and doing stuff like YouTube and stuff like that, I put in money and I invested into it, and also did my taxes, and tied up everything that I needed to tie up this month. But I was very, very happy to be like, something that I wasn't necessarily too comfortable with. I tried it. It's not for me. And my like, I'm sorry, like, it's just like, I'm happy, but it's just like, I didn't want to. I just wanted to go somewhere and stay there. When I go to a country or a city or whatever, I wanted to go there and I wanted to stay there. And I wanted to go where I wanted to go and not necessarily sort of be looking and stuff like that. Like, I just wanted to, like I said, I still will be working, but I wanted a very relaxed feel, because I know me, like, I'm not saying I'll sit down and do nothing, but sometimes, if it's raining or something like that, I'm like, oh, let me work, let me do this, let me do that, let me, and especially when you have the ability to travel and, like, from one place to the next, and especially being in a populated city, going to a cafe or whatever, something about going to a cafe, a library, going somewhere, and for me to sit down, I get a lot of work done. And when I say I can sit and work for a long time, I think I can pull a straight 12 hours. And that's like TMI, but that's like not even like getting up to use a bathroom or something. Like, I can sit down and I can work, especially when I'm like creative and those juices are flowing. So, yeah. So, like I said, it's just some more things to get out the way and, talk about. But, another thing that I did this past week. So, I believe in one of my earlier videos speaking about just like finances and stuff like that, I did end up getting the the Virtual One credit card for traveling, and approved on the first time, and I got approved, and then I literally 5 minutes after I got approved, I went in and froze all of my accounts, all of my credit checks, like all of my stuff, so nobody can use the stuff or anything can be like slipping through or whatever. So, because at first I was like, I'm not gonna get it, I'm gonna spend, because I wanted to use it to the best of my ability, right? So with using it to the best of my ability, I needed to spend $4,000 to get like 75,000 miles extra, right? And then it also gives you 10 miles to every dollar that you spend with hotels, and then $5 for every, 5 miles for every dollar you spend for flights, right? So I'm like, this would have been the greatest, like, ultimate card to get, and da, 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 da. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I can probably pay and spend the money and get to that threshold. And once again, with manifestation and stuff like that, I wasn't really even thinking about, situations that was like happening around me. But I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and just get the card, and I'm gonna at least try. As long as I'm paying for hotels, the money that I have coming in every month will eventually, I'll pay it off. Like, I have the money in bulk to like pay it off before I get my next statement, which you should always do. But I will, be able to put that money back potentially like into my savings. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I can like finagle some things and then go through the portal to get 10 times, the this, that, and the other. I'm like, I can do that. So I have my cousins, like I love my cousins. And I have one in particular. He's very ambitious, out there. He's a go-getter, a fellow vet. So he's like, hey, how about we have just like stay at a cabin? So long story short, I'm the one that ends up planning, right? And I'm like, oh, I can use the money. So it was like one day for like all of us or whatever, for like one night for all of us or whatever, combining and whatever. So I used a card. So that was like $1,000 right there on my card. And this happened like maybe the second or third day after I got the card. And I was like, this is amazing. So even with my other financial stuff outside of my business, I put my money into that. I put my money into everything else. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be on a gravy train. So right now I'm a little bit over halfway there. And I know with like the next accommodations and stuff for the next couple of months, all the way up to August, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm planning like my hotel stays and my flights. I'm planning them out all the way out to August, because I do have, like, I feel like it's like, yes, it's a dream to live, I guess, like this life or whatever, to travel. But I have the time that I will be at this special place in this special country. And just like a little hint, I always wanted to go to this place since I read Memoirs of a Geisha, and especially after I watched the movies Memoirs of a Geisha, which I was too young to read and to watch, but I mean, I was one of those girlies. Like I was reading them books. I was in the library all the time, and I'm like, oh, I gotta figure this out. I gotta get to the source. And this is before Google and all that stuff. Like we still had like dial up. Anywho, so yeah, so I got my Venture One X card, and even because I'm in Georgia, I am going to be so happy. Like one of my main things, even about the card, is I will have access to lounges. And one of my main pet peeves with traveling, especially with flying, is lounges and not being able to have access to the lounges and having to leave, go to a hotel, this, that, and the other, all that type of stuff. Like I did not want to, like, that's one of my main pet peeves. And even with, you know, when you want to live your life and do a little bit more for yourself, and when people say luxury this, luxury that, it doesn't necessarily, to me, doesn't necessarily mean like physical items. I feel like it's your lifestyle, what you're getting, what you're doing, how you're going about things. Like I feel like you adding something to make your life a little bit more easier, more comfortable, is adding on to luxury, right? And another thing with the card, you get the, you know, $300 and stuff, to, you know, be able to book or whatever you need it for. So, and let's be honest, some of the, like, well, most of the places I'll be going to, that's pretty much like, will pretty much cover like the entire month of housing, give or take maybe $100, maybe, you know, maybe less. It just depends on exactly where I go and where I'm going to use it at. Or if I go somewhere and I really wanted to celebrate, like, you know, the New Year's or whatever, then I was like, you know, it just depends. So there's also that, and then like other little tidbits and stuff that they give you to make it worth the while of getting the card, because it is like a $395 fee for the card every year. But the stuff that they give you back, it breaks even. And to be honest, if you're, I'm gonna still give updates and talk about it, just to, so I can add some type of experience to what I'm saying. But that's like a whole nother thing. Like I'll be able to move from place to place, get as many points as I possibly can, and also I will be pretty much like making $5. Like it's like an extra $5, because, you know, like I said, there's the $300 credit, and then there's another like $100 annual situation that they give you, right? So yeah, I got my big girl card. And the funny thing about it is, like, you know, like a lot of people in like the finance world and stuff like that, or just in general, would be like, oh, a metal card, I got a metal, like, I'm gonna like send this bad boy in to like get my name like engraved or something. Like, I got a metal card, girl. I got a metal card. Okay, I'm out here. Listen. So, and I'm just like reading off of my notepad and like my notes and stuff over here, because I'm telling you, it's gonna be a long day. I am celebrating. I have 1 week left. I want to stay in it. We are excited about it. Okay, I have 1 week left. 1 week of being here, 1 week of being in the States, 1 week of actually working a 9 to 5. 1 week. Y'all, y'all just don't know. Like at the end of the day, you know, you just sort of feel like that surrealness, and it's sort of like decompressing. And even like this past month, it's been like fluctuating, like my emotions, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited, and then sometimes be like, what the am I doing? And then it's other times, like especially like when I first wake up, I don't know why I'm still doing it. Like it's been happening ever since I sold my car, which was in August, in 2024. Now it's January, almost February, and I'm like, sometimes when I wake up, I'm like, am I really doing this? I'm like, I'm leaving soon. Like, I'm leaving soon. Like, now it's like 7 days. And it's like, you leaving soon. And it's just like, there's so much to do. There's so much to think about. There's so much to go about, with doing things. And I'm just so happy. I am honestly, like, I am very, very proud of myself. I am proud of my forthcoming I've been with myself and how fast I was able to get to this position and to be able to get myself mentally ready and to take this leap. Like, it's been like a little bit over a year, and I can't say anything other than I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm elated. Like, y'all start to see, like, when I start posting stuff on social media, Instagram, and like all this other stuff. But still, like, this year, because I am not working the 9 to 5, like I said in my resolutions, I will be able to freely learn and get all of my stuff together and be able to further invest into my business and to sort of fine tune what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I feel like there's going to be a lot going into this year. And even when it comes to like manifesting, and I'm just like, like, I kept on thinking to myself, like, oh, this is like little plausible things here, little plausible things there. Like, oh, I can probably make this much. Like, that seems pretty good. And I was like, you know what? No. I'm like, I am going to at least my manifestation, and I'm like going to be at least making a certain amount of money and stuff like that. Cause like now I have to feel like I gotta sort of like watch what I say, because like, if I blow it tomorrow, like sometimes you get like just negativity and people don't want things for you. And like, let's be honest, like, I am leaving some people, destitute. I created my boundaries. I'm going to stick to my boundaries, and my boundaries are going to stay where my boundaries are at. Besides, out of sight, out of mind. It's Gemini in me. What can I say? Anywho, so notes again. Yes. So things have been rocking and rolling. So another thing that I don't know, like, I mean, I was there, I do know, but the situation with AAA and the international driver's permit, I went to like 4 different ones, and there's no, like, it was hard to get the number to the actual physical location. And then it's like whether or not the location does the permit, even though they have it on the list that you look at online. It was just like a whole bunch. Like, I spent like a whole Saturday driving around Atlanta, and I got no permit out of it. I had to, like, finagle my way to be able to go and, like, during the work week or whatever, and just sporadically just get up and go and get it. But still, like, that was like a whole nother thing. Like, I was about to give up. I'm telling you, like, if it wasn't for this past week and me just, something told me, once again, manifestation and listening to, whatever is, telling you to move, to go and do it. But something was like, you know what, go ahead, get up and go and make sure that you get all of your stuff done. Like, go and do that. And like, my debit cards that I ordered came in, all of that stuff. So yeah. And another thing is, I will also, and I feel like this is important for everybody, but I also went and I got my traveler's insurance. I'm a veteran, so I was able to get it with USAA, but I feel like it is important to get that. Also, stuff like life insurance. I switched over my 401k to a Roth IRA, so it should be processed within this next week or so, because like I said, I'll physically still be here, but it should be giving me some chances to be able to read up and to do a little bit of research on where exactly I want that money to go. And I will be putting in contributions every month. And that's also included into the $1,000. So if you guys do want a video on, like, I guess like a breakdown on, spending and how much I spend and stuff like that, then yeah, go ahead, just let me know. Because like I said, I do have all of my subscriptions. It's pretty much running from mostly December. Like, I do have reoccurring costs, like, stuff for my business in January, and taxes and stuff, like you pay, I pay to get my taxes done and stuff like that. But all in all of the stuff together is under, I'm not sure how much under, because it could be like I know it's under $2,000, but it could be $1,500, or in between that, maybe less than $1,500. It could be less than that. I just haven't sat down and like did all the math. I just know that I got it covered. So yeah. See, anything else I wanted to tell you guys about this month? I think that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys in a few. I'm about to get this bag out and get everything else out so we can pretty much talk about the closest I can get to for the ultimate minimalistic packing guide for Black women. Okay. There's some things with like hair and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's going to be very niche because, I have, micro locks, but I do have advice on, what I do and how I do things. So the things that I have in my suitcase and in my book bag will make sense. Okay. All right. Bye.